Whether you're a Magic fan or a Curry fan, Steph Curry is a top 2 point guard in NBA history, and that's not up for debate. And coming into the 2022 NBA season, he had already accomplished everything. The sharpshooting guard, the baby-faced assassin from Davidson that was the most transcendent player in NBA history, had nothing more to prove. He was already a 3-time NBA champ, the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. He did, of course, have the infamous blown 3-1 lead, however, but he had cemented himself as one of the all-time greats in NBA history. There were, however, a lot of critics, but in 2022, Steph didn't just win his 4th ring. He silenced every critic and delivered one of the greatest, most underrated finals performances in NBA history. No Kevin Durant, no problem. Straight dominance. Game 4 in Boston was a legacy-defining masterpiece. This was Steph at his absolute peak, carving up the league's best defense, putting the Warriors on his back, and finally grabbing that long overdue finals MVP. And it's all because some Boston fans wanted to talk about his girl. This story takes us back to 2022, like I said, and this is, in my opinion, the most underrated Steph Curry story of all time, because yes, Boston fans put out a thing that said Ayesha Curry can't cook, and that upset Stephen Curry a lot, because at the time, the Warriors were down 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Boston was viewed as the favorite, obviously up 2-1. Game 4 was going to be in the Garden. They were the younger team, they were the more athletic team, and it looked like the birth of a dynasty in Boston with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum ready to dominate the NBA for the next few years. Until Steph Curry showed up. And remember, he hadn't won a championship as a first option since 2015. It had been 7 years at this point, and even then there were still critics because he didn't have a single finals MVP to his name. Iggy won it in 2015, and then KD won it in 2017 and 18. But then, as we said earlier, Steph Curry happened.
Let him shoot that shit from 40, dog. Shoot that all night. Bro, I wish you would. Pull that, bro. Please shoot that.
Yeah.
That's how we felt about it. Till this little motherfucker start making it.
Sit on first take. You and Dominique Foxworth are going to sit on first take and say that Steph Curry will not be in the conversation for a championship in the next 4 years.
Get us out of here, Victoria.
Right. I got 100 on my dash, got 200 in my trunk. Name in the grab bags, put my Bible in the trunk. Taco Vodka on the top of my binocular, I'm drunk. How can make them popular? Pop 'em when I want. See, I'm living with anxiety, ducking that sobriety. Fucking up the system, I ain't fucking with society. Justice.
Proud husband of Ayesha Curry, proud son of Del Curry, proud daddy of the Boston Celtics.
Now, before we further discuss this Warriors run and this Steph Curry performance, let's take a step back and look at this Warriors team as a whole, because this squad, they weren't that good. Now, don't get me wrong, they had 4 really good options, 4 guys averaging over 17 points a game, with Steph coming in at about 25 a night, Clay coming in with about 20 a night, Jordan Poole could get you right on 18.5 a night, and then Wiggins was good for probably 17 a night. After that, Kuminga was their 5th leading scorer. The rookie, or second year, Jonathan Kuminga was their 5th leading scorer with 9.3 points a game. They only had 4 guys averaging more than 8.5 points per game, and this team won the NBA championship. Their odds coming into the year were plus 900 to win an NBA championship, which wasn't bad. 4th in the league, and they finished 3rd in the West, behind a very forgotten Phoenix Suns team that won 64 games with, of course, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, McCall Bridges, Cam Johnson, and DeAndre Ayton. That's the team that they got whooped up on by Luka Doncic, a young Luka, before he got all those McDonald's cheeseburgers in him, that was just terrorizing the league. And yet Jalen Brunson was also on that Mavs team. And then second in the West that year was a 56-win Memphis Grizzlies squad with Ja Morant and company that looked like they were up next in the West. And again, this Warriors team was your typical post-KD Warriors team. They shot a lot of threes. They weren't fantastic when it came to offensive efficiency, just 15th in offensive rating and 17th in points per game. but Steph Curry had a pretty good season, finished All-NBA second team, averaged 25 points a game, about 6.5 assists and 5 rebounds, shot 44% from the field and 38% from three on about 11.7 attempts per game. They were just really scrappy defensively. However, of course, a team led by Draymond Green, you can do stuff like that. Very positionless, very versatile on the defensive side of the ball. They had defensive stoppers like Draymond Green. Gary Payton II was a monster this year. Wiggins was a different animal on defense. And Clay still had a little bit left in the tank. Moses Moody, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Iggy, a 38-year-old Iggy, could still get it done when you needed some spot minutes from him. And then also shout out Otto Porter Jr. and Damian Lee for their contributions. They were giving you a calm little 7.5 points a night and did it on very good efficiency and played good defense. They were critical pieces to this squad. The Warriors actually started off the season 18-2, showing that, hey, they might be a serious threat, then went 30-27 over their next 57 games, showing just how mid they could be at times, rattling off 5 straight wins to end the season with a 53-29 mark. And they came into the playoffs, played an injured Denver Nuggets team in the first round without Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, breezed them aside despite a 31-point triple-double every game from Nikola Jokic. Second round, they faced the 2-seeded Grizzlies, who were obviously the younger team, and maybe if Ja played the full series instead of only playing 3 of the 6 games, this would have been a different outcome, because the dude was averaging a 38.8 assist, 6 rebound stat line on 53% shooting from the field, 50% from 3. He was playing out of his mind, ridiculous, and then of course didn't end up playing in 3 games that series, so the Warriors were able to escape that one. Then they face off against the Dallas Mavericks, who were fresh off of beating the Phoenix Suns, who were essentially their Suns at that point in time. Again, this is the Mavs with young Luka before the cheeseburgers. They got Jalen Brunson still on the squad before they were too cheap to pay him. And Steph didn't have the best series in the world, 24 a game with 7.5 assists and 6.5 rebounds. Shot 44% from the field and 44% from 3. But it was Andrew Wiggins that really got a lot of the credit from this series because of how well he played against Luka Doncic and how well he scored the ball, averaging close to 19 points per game for the series. Luka also only shot 41% from the field in this series and 34% from 3, so adding that to Wiggins' resume here. That takes us to the NBA Finals, and in Game 1, Steph would drop 34 points, but the Warriors would lose by 12 at home. Then in Game 2, they take care of business, winning by 20. Steph drops 29, but unfortunately in Game 3, they would drop it on the road in Boston. Steph has a game high for all players for the 3rd straight game, dropping 31 points. But here we are, back to square one, back to the beginning of the video, where the Warriors are down 2-1, and Boston fans start poking fun at his wife. The t-shirts, the tweets, he hears all the noise and responds in a way that only Steph Curry could respond. 43 to the dome with 10 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 14 of 26 from the field, only needed 8 free throws to score 43 points in Boston and dance on him as he's doing it. And then this psychopath wore an Aisha Can Cook jersey to the post-game presser. Maybe the single best night-night performance of Steph Curry's career, obviously up there with this year's gold medal match. I don't know if you can top that just because of the stakes, but hey, getting number 4 and evening this series up at 2-2, headed back to Golden State, huge moment. Legacy performance for Steph. 43 in the Garden. They go back, they win Game 5, the only game of the series, by the way, that Steph doesn't have a game high in scoring. That's how good this dude was for the series, and then they're ultimately able to win in 6 with Steph dropping 34 in the Garden. He's dropping a 30 ball every game like it's no problem. For the series, he would end up averaging a little over 31 points per game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 49% from the field as a 6'3" guard, and 44% from 3. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Now, if it's Bron and he's 6'8", no disrespect to Bron, you can understand. But a 6'3" guard that's getting blitzed every time he comes off a screen because he doesn't really have that much help when it comes to generating offense, to do that on that efficiency is ridiculous. I think it's one of the most underrated performances in NBA history, and especially given the stakes, given the backstory. With them talking crap about his wife, he responds, wears a shirt in the post game that says she can cook, and then just drops 43 and 10 on them. Ridiculous. Steph Curry is different.